Greetings. This is an instructional video on how to compute the validity coefficient for the undergraduate situational judgment test. In this particular project, you're going to have two sets of scores. You'll have the USJT score and GPA, and we want to see if the test score predicts GPA. In other words, what is the predictive validity of the USJT? So the first thing we're going to do is find a formula that will provide that information for us, and to find that formula we're going to go to More Functions, Statistical, and scroll down until we find the function for correlation, which is right here. So the function arguments in this particular instance are asking us to provide the two arrays, or in this case the two columns of data that we want to look at. So for array 1, we will highlight the values in column 1. These are the test score values. And for array 2, we will highlight the values in the other column, and these represent grade point averages for our sample. Now that we've identified those two columns of data, we're ready to ask the function to return the value. Just click OK. If you scroll to the top here, you can see that the validity coefficient for this set of data happens to be 0.23. Now the other thing we might like to do as part of this project is to construct a scatter plot that gives us an idea of what the relationship looks like. So to do this, we are going to go to Insert, find the chart area, and click on Scatter. And you can see here that we need to identify our data. So we're going to select our data. And in this case, we're going to capture both of these columns together. And you can see that it has returned a very impressive graph of the data points. But we want to provide a little bit more information, and so among other things, we want to identify the axes that are involved here. So we can click on Chart Elements, and let's ask it to provide the information on axes titles. And it might also be a good idea to have a trend line in there. Okay. Now we can go in and edit the axis title simply by clicking on it a couple of times. Backspace to erase that. The horizontal axis represents our USJT scores. Click on the vertical axis. Backspace. And that's GPA. If you like, you can also add a chart title. And we'll call this scatter plot for USJT data. Then I can grab my chart, move it a little bit if I like. Also expand it if I'd like to make it a little bit bigger. And then we're going to save this. In this case, we can call it the USJT project, and follow that with the student name. and save it. And there's your completed project. You have both the validity coefficient and a very informative scatter plot that demonstrates the relationship between your data and GPA.